Experimentation is vital to musical growth, so many bands have done so with various degrees of success. So let me put forth the following album. Hi people and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here for a 5-minute review on 1137's newest album, Fallout. That's right, 1137 is back for another review on Live Listen Erased, and we were recently lucky to be graced by their presence in an interview not too long ago. Make sure to check out that video to hear some insight from Logan. In this album, Fallout, stylized with the 4 instead of the letter A, the band have ventured into new territories, trying out hip-hop while continuing their series of The Void. As you can tell by the cover of this album, it certainly seems like an apocalyptic record, one that has a shift in dynamics, and certainly involves a bit of influence from the Fallout series. In fact, here is a photo that I made for a fan-made version of their cover art. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of hip-hop, and maybe that's going to skew my view for the record, but I do enjoy a bit of it, especially the early years of hip-hop, you know, De La Soul and his 80s era, Wu-Tang Clan when it comes to the 90s, and let's not forget Outkast in the early 2000s. As far as this new age of hip-hop goes, well, to put it bluntly, I'm not the biggest fan, but there's certainly been some new hip-hop artists that have popped up over the years that I found particularly interesting. I mainly blame the radio-friendly hip-hop that's always been blasted, you know, for the last couple of years, and it sounded so superficial and really jaded my sound in regards to that style. I mean, mumble rap, fuck that. So to say I was apprehensive about 1137 doing a hip-hop record would be the easiest way to describe my thoughts leading up to this review. I must admire the lad's intuition to decide to push the envelope and go for something that is new or different as far as the realms of what they would usually play. And I will admit, upon first playthrough, I found the beats quite refreshing. I have to say, I am super impressed that they have managed to make it work. On the same page though, there are a lot of beats that just come across as repetitive and excessive bass distortion. Now, I know very little about hip hop and how to be original when approaching the beats and stuff like that, but I have to say it feels good to hear an original take instead of relying on samples from previous hits or other musicians. So I love the fact that these are all original. If you want an example for what I'm talking about, then look no further than David Guetta's song I'm Good, which samples the I'm Blue, and the only reason that song is famous is because of that hook from the original song being so catchy, along with the star power of David Guetta. These tunes by 1137, however, are truly DIY with their approach and with the mentality of we will do this and we will do it the way we want to. And I love it. So of course I'm not the biggest fan of hip-hop, and that's going to influence my thoughts on this record, but this record is a pretty interesting sound to it. I found myself enjoying it a fair bit actually. The first song, 300 Years, reminded me of the Insane Clown Posse with its dirty slow bass and snare traps, and I'll admit, I was fairly excited when this intro played out and figured this could be a gritty and dark record to help with the themes of Fallout. And the following song, Southpaw, really goes into that spiral of division. The lyrics of being cautious with who you can trust can ring true to anyone who has been betrayed, but I think the following song is too early to launch into a transition track. North Rich is certainly pretty interesting, and the flows by Nat James World are very impressive and add to this tune. With Destruction Begins, we have the story reaching its climax as the battles erupt, and I'm not sure how to feel about this song. As a song, it sounds great, but as a concept piece, it sounds a bit off and out of place. This is the ignition piece that starts off the war, and it starts to feel undermined with the beats department and overuse of the gun sound effects, which could have perhaps used a small interludes by news reports and sounds of rioting instead. Just my 2 cents though. The following song, War, talks about the aftermath and certainly paints a scene with the Relish and Man's World's lyrics. It would have been really cool if this song sampled the word war, which was from Edwin Starr's War, What Is It Good For? Maybe that's a future remix idea.
We can talk face to face. I'll tell you the whole truth, you know I'm always on it.
Runnin' Up is a short song with a bit of bass trap. Not the strongest moments, but the piano interlude sections really shine as it goes for that emotional strings. Sick and Tired goes on the synth back foot, which is a welcome distraction before hitting a Drake-styled snare and drum beat loop. I mean, hell, if I'm being honest, it's not just Drake, but he certainly made it a signature sound of his, so I can't shake that feeling. The interlude track, Gladiator, continues the use of Johnny Cash as a guest guest appearance talking about playing guitar with an ominous beat laid over the top. Swag Messiah is next, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Its intro vocals about the song being a certified hood classic is surely in jest. The song was inspired by the Houston and Louisiana rap scene, and as I'm not from that area, I feel like I'm missing out a lot of context and I don't really understand the scene. Sorry guys, I know you will watch this, so maybe you can explain this song to me a bit more. The wave follows, and I feel like the keyboard section here is very different and grandiose. It reminds me of Lil Yachty actually. I dig this song. Until Dusk Clears continues and shows the band having a great ability to transition between tunes. Love the Morgan Freeman sample on here. We finally reached the last track on the album with the title song Fallout, and I love this build up with string instruments. This song really has potential as the music fades slowly into the forefront. I can say that this is a really cool way to finish the album. Also, stick around for the bonus part at the end. It's hard for me to look over this album in an extremely positive light when I'm not the biggest fan of that style of music, and the levels of experimental styles here are drastic compared to their original work. When you compare this to the previous efforts of the Sounds of Acceptance released a few months earlier, it's a drastic change, and I thought Sounds of Acceptance was an insanely good record. I don't know if this is another Jive Highs moments or not. If it is, it's certainly a lot better, and it's showing the band has progressed in their mindset. This album has shown me the band have the skill set, I believe, to write music in the hip-hop field, and that is perhaps the path the band might take. I am curious to see how they will move forward, and as always, this is a band that never has a dull moment. I must say, people go over to their channel and subscribe and check them out. They deserve it. As for Fallout, I'm not entirely won over, but I think it shows a lot of potential. This music may not be my style, but 1137, don't be dissuaded by my thoughts, as I am, after all, predominantly a fan of metal music. But like I said, this album has solid moments on it. Overall, I would score this album at 5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite songs being 300 Years, Southpaw, The Way, and Fallout. It would be interesting to hear some musical samples thrown around the mix, but I know this one is a complex beast to get around. Maybe the band can check out the interpolation methods if they want to go down that path some more, as I believe small amounts would really improve sections of the songs. It doesn't necessarily have to be on every track after all. Otherwise, it's a decent effort, and as always, I'm keen to hear more from you guys. Maybe we could chat about this album in an interview. Let me know. And as always, people, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Make sure to do the socials, leave a like, subscribe if you can, check out 1137, and as always, have a great day and stay spicy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Live Listen Erased. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Chili Con Carnage crew so you can get notified for all the future videos that we put out, as we put out videos every Friday. Also, we are on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter over at Live Listen Erased, so make sure to tune in over there. And don't forget to like this video so that our manager can stay very happy. You must remember to press play.